Welcome back once again to the Women in Games Community Cup, hosted and casted by myself, Jasmine Karuga, otherwise known as Veracity, and the beautiful Naori Mizuki, bringing you all the latest actions throughout. Stop it, you. We'll just kiss all the homies. We're just going to go back and forth like this. Don't mind us. We're here with the grand finals, and what a journey it has been to get all the way here for our grand finals of Project X versus Tenstar. Naori, I know you were hyped to see the Breeze matchup, but now we're going to pull it back ever so slightly, and we're going to take it to grand finals. Talk to me about these two teams.
Now, this is super exciting. First and foremost, because this is an epic rematch. We had Huntress Trials in August, and it was a final between Tenstar Nova and Project X. Tenstar managed to clutch that one out at the end, and it was a pretty close matchup. Not super close, but pretty close. And they managed to snag themselves 2 wins of the Huntress Trials in a row. Back to back, baby. Now, here it is, the epic rematch in a completely different tournament, but the stakes are just as high. The grand final. And let's take a look at what these two teams look like. So Tenstar Nova, if you've been following the women's scene, you'll know both of these teams. So we'll start here with Tenstar because we haven't had a chance to broadcast them there yet. Far, super explosive duelist player. I'm talking like Smurfette levels, right? Crazy good. Nino comes up super, super clutch. Gets the most ridiculous kills. Lilia, one of my favorite smokes players in the European region. Nello, okay, unfortunately, Icebox has... Wait, was Icebox banned out or am I just losing my mind? No, Icebox is the first map. Okay, so this is going to be wild. Keep your eyes on Nello because when she's playing Viper, she is nasty, okay? Just ridiculous, crazy good. And then there's Slicey, who pivots between playing Jet and playing Breach. 2 like super different agents, but she always gets value on both. She is insanely good. Now that's Tenstar. We'll take a look here at Project X. You know them. We've just broadcasted them. They're phenomenally good players. But just to give you a little rundown once again, Smurfette and Cinnamon, 2 like one of the strongest double duelist combinations in the region, in the female scene, hands down. They are ridiculously good. We got Glance, who kind of pivots between playing Sova and Breach and gets ridiculous value on Breach when, you know, her duelists are swinging off of those flashes. Kim, another phenomenal smoker, and Roxy. If Roxy gets a Guardian, keep your eyes on that.
It could be game over. We did mention, a little spoiler alert we had earlier, that Icebox is going to be our first map.
My bad.
And then over onto Bind, followed by Split for third map, should we get there. And here we have it. Agent select now. Talk to me about these lineups. You said Nello was going to be absolutely nasty on the Viper. And Nello, no, I will not be flaming your crosshair again because, you know, you shut me right up with the insane gameplay we've seen you provide us.
Honestly, lesson learned. I really hope that she hasn't touched that crosshair at all. Now, if we take a look at these compositions, Tenstar Nova, standard, by the book, 100%. Project X, little bit of a deviation here. And we saw this in the previous tournament as well, where instead of bringing out the Sage, they opt to have the Killjoy and the double duelist. Now, usually you'll have the Sage, and then you'll either have Jet Killjoy or Jet Reyna. Instead, Project X are like, we'll have the best of both worlds and we'll get rid of the Sage. Now, that does shut down a lot of potential players on the B side with that Sage wall, but it does open up for better flank watch and slightly more explosive plays, which, as we know, is exactly what Project X is known for. They get aggressive, they get right up in your face, and they try to take control of the map. It's going to be up to Tenstar, who, of course, starting on defense here, they're going to need to try and stem that tide as much as possible, hold back what Project X are throwing at them to maintain control of the map.
Absolutely, and kicking it off in our first round of the grand finals. I cannot wait to get started, and we're starting things off a little bit sneaky beaky, but initial shots have been fired. Viper wall goes down, and you can see these girls, they are not holding back at all.
Ooh, and of course, Nello on a flank, but with Cinnamon getting the first 2 picks of the round before Nello's even had a chance to get into position. This is dangerous territory.
Oh my word. Shots being fired left, right, and center. And flank watch is being covered. You love to see it. Oh, and it does look like they're going to opt to rotate away. And Nello on that Viper picks up one of those kills. And there you have it. You can see the rotation coming through for the Jet as well. They've called it. They know exactly what's happening. And now that the Sober is going in on a small flank, I'm wondering if they're going to suspect it.
Oh, this is going to be wild. They're so far apart from one another. And now we talk about how they don't have the Sage for the wall, but they do have the Killjoy for some potential. And a Swarm Slice is going to swing out. Doesn't manage to connect the shots. And in the meantime, Liralia gets completely shut down. Now it's all down to Slicey to try to clutch this one out 1 versus 4. Chances of that happening? Well, when Glance throws in a shock dart, the chances are 0.
A valiant attempt.
Valid, yeah. They tried their best, but with Cinnamon, those opening kills, we speak about how Project X are such an explosive, aggressive team, and they're just perfectly on display. Now, we saw how Project X like to force up in the second round if they lose the first pistol. On the other hand, Tenstar not really full forcing up. They are going to buy up to a couple of sheriffs, but 3, I use a couple to mean anything more than 1, so, don't take that too seriously. So despite that, they're still going to be able to buy up to rifles in the next round should they lose this round, but they will still have a ton of firepower in this round if they need it.
Absolutely, with the Sober drone going in, revealing some opponents potentially, but not when Nella is being as patient as she is. Playing towards Heaven and waiting for the call out. There you have it. She's called it out to her teammates, and now it looks like we're going to see a huge flank coming through. Potentially through under tube. I like to see it. Oh, and Nello has been spotted now. Oh. Smurfette picking up 2 of those kills was absolutely huge for them. Cinnamon making that 3rd off the board. Now 2 versus 5 with Liralia and Nino both pushing through CT.
Last person alive to try to clutch it out 1v4. There's no time really to get a defuse, so exit frags are the name of the game. She has managed to get 2. Not going to be able to get a 3rd one, but honestly, could have been worse in this round. Really, a good attempt from Tenstar. The important part to note now is, of course, they're going to have rifles online, and this is where things become a little bit more favored, I suppose. Oh, waiting to see. All right, Liralia. Yes. On the other side, Project X, obviously with the bonus, but they have opted to give Cinnamon a rifle. They know that she is incredibly strong once she has a little bit of extra firepower as well. And for the rest, it's just the typical bonus round. But now if they lose this, Cinnamon's going to be forced down onto either a rifle, or rather an SMG, or a pistol. So they cannot afford to lose this round. On the upshot, however, TS also cannot afford to lose this round unless they want to go back down to pistols entirely.
And I love the fact that they're playing off that Sober drone info. I feel like far too many people, as soon as the drone gets popped, they're so impatient. They often storm out ahead of it. So I love the fact that they are playing off each other's info incredibly well. As I say, that Cinnamon picks up the first kill onto Clark. Roxy attempting to get that spike planted. Cover coming in from her teammates, but not well enough as Nello throws down that snake bite. Was she trying to reload?
I'm not sure, but okay, why is she just chilling in the middle of the Viper's snake bite? Not the end of the world, but once again, in this situation where she needs to come up huge, last player alive on her team, gonna throw out the slow orb there to try to get a defuse. Any shock darts available? There we go.
Last player standing.
Prosec fake, both shock darts are gone now.
This is so doable, but
she's got it.
She's got it! What? Oh no! Project X actually plant the spike in one of the worst possible locations because they have no sight on it. They're relying far too heavily on that post-plant utility. And once again, Nino, I mentioned it before, she comes up huge for her team. That's a point on the board for Tenstar, a much needed point win. I know I'm saying that it's only like round 4, but we talk about the runaway train and how you don't want to allow a team to get into that position. This is exactly what Tenstar are hoping to avoid here. Now, it's janky buys across the board. No one has a perfect loadout, so it's kind of anyone's game here. Core does have a judge, however. Let's see how that works out.
Deploying drone.
Yet again, the Sober drone gonna swoop on in. Shloom. Oh! Did she time him?
Spots one.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
she did. Okay. There you go. Flash follows on through. She is completely flashed. Cinnamon picks up the kill based off of that info. And Smurfette. Okay, I panicked for a moment.
This has been interesting from Tenstar. They've been really, really resigned with all of their approaches, with all of their defenses here. Oh, Slicey on the lurk gets shut down.
Run.
And the fact that they have been so reserved in how they hold these has kind of made it really difficult to make anything happen. Now the lockdown has come through as well. They kind of have to pull back, but they... Oh, puts them in such an awkward position here, and time is going to continue to tick down. Project X looking pretty damn good at the start of this matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. That was very well played with their lockdown being placed at the time that it was. Incredibly well done, and it looks like Nino gonna try and pick up some exit frags if possible.
We know if anyone can do it, it's going to be her, but unfortunately, not going to happen. Another good round here from Project X, and that was a beautiful round from them. They didn't lose a single player. Heck, I don't think they even lost any HP. They just ran in, put the spike down, dropped the lockdown, and then left. And that was it. That's all she wrote. Tenstar looking a little bit shaky here. That was another round that they kind of needed to win. You can already see just based off of the buy that coming into this round is going to be very difficult. They do have the res available because Nino has done so much in the past couple of rounds, but that's all they really have to try to defend with. Meanwhile, Project X, it's just Cinnamon that's down on a Spectre. The rest of the players all have rifles. They have all of that firepower. No ultimates really, but do you really need ultimates when you have all of these rifles?
I don't think so. I think they've most definitely got this on lock. And no, I do not mean lockdown. We've already seen that come into play. But with a flash going out, they've perfectly baited this B push. Meanwhile, A site is wide open.
Bearing in mind that it is a janky buy from Tenstar, so they are kind of focused towards one side of the map, waiting for, you know, a potential retake scenario. As you can see now, they start to make the rotation over towards the A site. They figured that's what it's going to be. A little bit of a lurk coming through as well, but they're going to have to wait a while for that position to take hold. If they push out too early on, then they could get, you know, kind of shoot themselves in the foot a little bit.
Yeah, of course, with that Sova playing so up close and personal, information has been revealed that they are not going to be it's not going to be a B push. Sorry, Nello. Okay, I see you with the Guardian in hand.
This has been very strange.
Yeah.
I know that I already said that Tenstar, of course, being on the back foot in terms of their weaponry, it does make sense that they make this play. But just in a very general sense, they've been they've just given up so much space relatively unnecessarily for most of these rounds. Now, they have managed the spike halfway, but there you go. The cleanup comes through. There was a snake bite on top of the spike as well. That's another round here for Project X. Now, Tenstar should theoretically be able to buy here. I'm not too sure based on the fact that they did kind of go for a janky buy in the previous one. Yeah. So they'll be able to buy up to rifles. They'll be able to match firepower at the very least. They still have the res and the Viper's Pit, which can potentially shut down a site, but I think that Project X keep hitting A because they know about Nello on B. And they know how deadly Nello can be. This isn't the first time that they've played this team before. So kind of avoid that as much as possible.
I like that teamwork. Okay, Slicey, even though the recon was shut out, unfortunately being taken down by Cinnamon. Now that leaves Clark as the lone soldier on that A site. You can see flank coming into play here as well. It does look like the Viper's going to be flank watch, question mark? Never mind.
Yeah, it seems like it, but there's two people on the flank here to swing off one another. But with so many people from Tenstar having already died, and there you go. Oh my god, Kim. Like, we know how good you are on flank watch. We saw it earlier, but why you gotta do them like that? Damn! Tenstar, again, another round where they just give up sight completely. They keep going for these retakes, and I kind of want to see them stop doing that. Get a little bit more aggressive. You have the capability, the capacity to really get up in Project X's faces. Instead of, I was talking about how they want to maintain control of the map, but they've given up map control time after time. It's the weirdest thing where they just pull back to like the other side of the map, wait until the spike's down, and I always talk about how much I love flanks. So I get that they're waiting for those players to get into position before they go for the retake. But at the same time, stop giving so much space and deny the plant entirely. I know it's also difficult because you know you're coming up against Smurfette and Cinnamon, but I feel like that might be their best option here.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like especially when, you know, Smurfette decides to dash on towards you, maybe panic does ensue ever so slightly. But I would love to see some more fakes coming into play. I mean, I feel like it would work out perfectly for them, but in the wise words of yourself, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, I mean, that's it, you know. The fakes are really good if you feel like what you're doing isn't really working. But for the moment, they're on a, you know, 4-point lead. Three ultimates online. They've got their Viper's Pit, their Blade Storm, the Empress. And the Blade Storm, unlikely to come out now because they're not on a save round. However, we will likely see, there we go, Tenstar immediately Slicey pops that. Oh my god, just expecting that wall to come up, and Smurfette completely annihilates two of the players. Now Slicey is able to trade it back, but we talk about this. A 2-for-1 is a trade that you will take every day of the week.
Yeah, and now that she has been revealed by the recon, you can see the rotations coming through, and they decide, you know what, we do not want that smoke, not today. There you go, Viper Wall goes down as well to kind of give them some additional cover and inflict a little bit of damage if anybody does decide to push on through. I love this. Cinnamon covering towards Heaven, giving her teammates the info, and playing incredibly passive right now.
Passive. That's what I've been looking for like 3 games. Yes. The most passive play, and it's somewhat unusual for Tenstar. I'm used to seeing them get a little bit more kind of aggressive and in the face. Yeah, I mean, they're all just lined up there. Ugh. Cinnamon just takes advantage. Cinnamon, I must say, we kind of lord Smurfette quite a lot, but today at the very least, Cinnamon has come up so huge time and again. It's been really impressive to see her putting on an absolute clinic on how to be a strong duelist. She's currently 12-3. She has more kills than all of the Tenstar players combined.
Yeesh.
Sheesh. Like when you put it like that, you're just like, well, damn. How did that happen? There is an operator on the board here, so we'll give Tenstar a moment to get themselves back into the swing of it as they now pick up a very strong... Oh, there we go! Smurfette's off the board. A perfect opening for Tenstar, but they're going to need a lot more than that if they want to turn this around.
So now they do have the information. There is an op in the hands of Slicey on this A site. I'm wondering whether or not they're going to possibly try and sell a bit of a rotation. I would love to see that come into play, but it does look like they're going to continue committing to this A site.
I wonder if they realize that they've pushed the op off of point. They've pushed Slicey back because Slicey's now watching mid. The Empress has also come out to try and give a little bit of extra, and there's Claw, that explosive player that I was talking about a little bit earlier on. Tenstar just needed to get into the groove, and now they're doing exceptionally well.
I'm telling you, man, it's all in the pause. It's all in the timeouts.
It does make such a big difference. But this is what we've kind of been expecting, because the Tenstar that we've seen for the last 5 rounds is definitely not the Tenstar that we remember from previous tournaments. They were looking very, very shaky at the start of the round. And this is one of their best maps, seriously. Like, 100%. This is probably one of the... Actually, I want to check out the stats on that one. Hold up. Icebox. Never mind, apparently it's not. Well, color me incorrect. But from what I've seen, they always look incredibly strong on this map, just purely based off of what Nello is able to do usually on the B site. But again, Project X just continuously circumvent that. They've hit B twice, and both of those were pistol rounds. For the rest, it's just A. They are not interested in what Nello is selling. They ain't buying any of it.
Nello popping the ult as well onto that B site, denying any sort of push towards there. And that allows and opens up the possibility for her teammates to kind of disperse and cover that A site as much as possible, as well as holding this mid push 2. So now, oh, okay, another Viper ult coming into play. Claw able to shut it down with one of those kills, dismissing away. And Kim picks up the kill onto her. That was such unfortunate timing, but Kim going huge, absolutely there.
And a nice little Zed finisher there. Beautiful stuff. Seriously, man, I want those skins, but I just do not have $100. Like, let's be real about that. I just don't. Anyways, that has nothing to do with anything. This is just me being bitter and jealous because they have the skins and I can't. Yeah, okay. Tenstar. Slicey gets an operator and suddenly things start going well. Who'd have thunk? You know? And now Project X actually kind of posturing towards the B site. Realizing that Slicey is likely going to be postured up on that A site, they're like, you know what? Maybe we don't go A. Maybe we try for B. But of course, Nello is right here. She's holding all the way back in Snowman. So not going to be forced off of her position too unnecessarily. And Project X even going to pop the Empress for that little bit of extra firepower.
She has great positioning here for the cross on over for the plant, should it happen. And I like it. See, I like the fact that Spike isn't even anywhere near B. It's kind of all the way back towards long, maybe trying to sell a little bit of a fake, maybe trying to scout out the situation. But what they don't want to do is risk dropping the Spike in the middle, in the open, you know, and then kind of being in a bit of a standstill. And now you can see they're edging on closer towards this A site. Clark picking up the first kill onto Kim.
You wanted to see fakes, and fakes you shall receive, I guess.
Oh, the possibilities are honestly endless at this point. With Cinnamon edging closer towards Kitchen. Ooh.
Oh, they can hear the footsteps. It makes such a big difference. Oh, no. Too many angles that need to be checked, and Cinnamon gets away just in time. Literally, I'm not going to be able to spot her out, but it does bring things down to a 3 versus 3 with the Spike already down. Oh, there you go. Literally will eventually manage to get one. Oh, did you not hear the footsteps? Oh, my hand!
One enemy remaining.
How did Cinnamon not hear that? It was just a full-on run-and-gun situation, and now Glock somehow has to clutch it out, not even able to get one at the end there. Look at those HPs, though.
I was about to say.
Down to the wire there. I cannot believe Cinnamon didn't hear Slicey just elephanting up behind her. I mean, I know you're in snow, and it kind of mutes a little bit, but it doesn't mute that much. And she just has her back turned the whole time, and then she gets caught on the rope. There was some interesting decision-making from Cinnamon. As good as she has been throughout the start of this map, that was very strange. But Tenstar finally starting to close that gap a little bit. 3 rounds in a row, 2 more, and we're at an even half. They don't want to give up any more rounds than they absolutely have to. But again, they put so much faith in Nello, and it's crazy. I don't know if they're just putting faith in Nello or they're just expecting another A hit. But they just leave Nello alone on B, and they're like, you know what, you got this, boo-boo. And then they just continue along back onto the A side.
I think at this point, they're just expecting the A hit because they know it's been working out so well for them that, of course, why wouldn't you continue to push A? Oh dear, here we go. Nino going absolutely huge with 2 of those kills. Oh, he manages to get out of it alive as well with this Hunter's Fury coming into play. The lockdown gets taken off the map as well. And now Slicey with an op in hand. Trying her hardest to try and potentially get a kill here, but 3 versus 1 and Kim, okay, making it a 2 versus 1. She's ready and waiting to show her what to show us all what she's about.
Good try, good try. I mean, that was really, really close. We've seen Kim clutch out worse situations, but unfortunately, Tenstar finally showing that. What is interesting? So I was going to say showing a change, but they haven't changed terribly much. They're not going super aggressive. They're just holding site better. You know, I had said that maybe I want to see them get a little bit more aggressive, you know, push out a bit, try to take the fight to Project X. But I guess the secret ingredient was an operator, because that just like completely shuts everything down, and Project X don't really have smokers to deal with that. So as soon as there's an op on the board, that happens, you know?
Okay, Slicey, I see you. Flashed and still getting the kill. I love that. When people get flashed and they still take the shot, I mean, why wouldn't you? But Slicey, I always panic when something like that happens, but that is exactly why you need Nello by yourself. Bio side to pick up a kill. Okay. Okay, relying on the Sova drone for info. I like it. I like it. But I don't think it's gonna... Oh, okay. It extends far enough to tag one of them. And now in comes the res.
I love that. Use the drone to find out that there's enough space to get the res off, but just get mowed down? Oh my god, as they peek out to try and get the kill, they think that it's just Roxy alone. Don't realize that Glance is there as well. And now it's down to Claw to somehow clutch this out. The spike hasn't been planted yet, but there is so much time available to make that happen.
With the recon going down as well. Very good placement here from Claw as well, trying to make sure she doesn't get spotted by any potential
30 seconds left.
recons flying on in. And now I think she might be trying to... She might
Last player
start
standing.
to doubt herself. Picks up the first kill, dismisses away. Flash comes on through. Please spam through the box. No, it's too late.
She's actually popped the Empress though, which is pretty nutty for a 1v1. She's kind of relying on the increased rate of fire and the fact that they're going to be highlighted in red. Expects one to be on the other side of yellow. Is going to use the Leah, opts not to get spotted out. She's elephanting.
Oh, she has a flash to work with too.
Oh
She
no,
has a
oh no! Her sight line was just in the wrong place. For some reason, she kind of dismissed the idea that Glance would be behind yellow, and that's exactly where she was. A huge misplay there, but again, it comes down to that's what makes Icebox such a tough map. The elevation, all of the vertical heights, and then you have so many angles that you need to check, particularly when you're the last person standing. And if you check the wrong angle, well, that's that. But this is a far better half than what it was shaping up to be when the round started. A 7-5 is not terrible. This is actually very, very doable for Tenstar Nova. But you know, we talk about that runaway train, and if they lose the first two pistol rounds, Project X could give themselves a pretty good, a far bigger buffer than what they already have.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you take into consideration the fact that, you know, they don't actually have a Sage to kind of work with and hold off that tube area as well. And that could be a factor to take into account as well. But for now, it just seems like it's going to be an A push, so tube is not going to be too much of an issue for them as Claw gets wiped out by Cinnamon. Cinnamon's still sat towards backside. The spot Slicey, picking up yet another kill, calls it out to her teammate, picks up another pistol, and gets taken up by that shot dart. Literally, that was an incredibly great placement by her.
3 versus 4. Again, still doable, but Spike hasn't been planted just yet. Now, we do have flank watch as well. No one's actually flanking, but this would be the perfect opportunity to push in because Project X still trying to take as much control of the map as possible. They don't actually realize. They think that there might have been a rotation over towards B, and so they send Roxy to go check it out, but it's not there. It's still here on A. This is where Tenstar need to push in.
And that is exactly why it's so important to be able to identify at what moment it is that you slow down your gameplay completely. There you go. Wall goes down. Slow orb as well follows shortly after. And they should have been able to have a plant at this moment in time. But there you go. Snakebite goes down as well. Oh, Smurfette. Okay, Roxy, we see you 10 seconds on the clock as well. Unfortunate timing there, but Roxy holding it down. And she was all the way over on B site as well.
Yeah, as soon as that information comes through, she starts that rotation. She's headed back towards the A site. They don't actually know where to look for her. So the fact that she kind of comes in from a relatively unexpected area does make things a little bit touch and go. Now, I kind of said a little earlier how Tenstar didn't bonus up after losing the first pistol round. This time, well, not bonus, but force up. This time, however, they actually are going to force. In fact, they've given Slicey a... Oh dear.
Oh,
nobody saw that. Don't worry about it. No, nobody saw that. Cut the VOD, cut the VOD.
Calculated.
That was all part of the plan.
All right, storming onto the site. Okay, deciding to kind of wall off onto upper tube, allowing Slicey to place. Slicey to plant up towards Nest. I like it. Ooh, location revealed by the recon as well. 4 versus 5 now.
With Spike already down, Tenstar busy cosplaying Project X at this point, but unfortunately for them, Project X have the angles, and the defuse is going through. You're kidding me! You're kidding me!
No way.
Oh, that hurts my brain.
That hurts
What an
my heart.
unfortunate situation there. The snake bite comes in a little bit too late, and I don't know if they just weren't expecting armor, possibly? But somehow that snake bite comes in way too late, and they literally clean up everyone else on the team except the person defusing the bomb. And that's one of the problems with trying to place the bomb in that tower, the spike rather, because it's so much more difficult to hold that angle. Now, I said, you know, Project X can really start to increase the gap here. That's exactly what they're doing. Tenstar have been able to bonus, and so many of them were still alive at the end of the previous round. Project X, however, have been able to force up. So, like, the economy is super wonky at this point. Like, it's just unrecognizable.
All right, let's see what they can do to kind of make this gap even greater than it already is. Okay, pretty standard stuff. Drone goes in yet again. I feel like... Oh, okay, they should have a recon available as well in a couple seconds, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, Nino pushing on through with her teammate by her side to assist her. And Smurfette just spraying through the flash. You love to see it.
Slicey holding up in mid, manages to get a kill as well, so she's going on a little bit of a flank, needs to be careful. Ooh, there we go. Literally is back in, and Smurfette is holding the angle. So that is the res completely off the board here. And the spike still hasn't actually been planted. They're going to start moving over towards the B site, but this is why it's so important that Slicey has been chilling here, because she's on the flank. Beautiful cleanup there. A 4K on the round for Slicey. Fantastic stuff.
One enemy remaining.
No way!
It's too good.
Just
That's
strong,
spray
just built
transfer.
diff.
Honestly, built diff. And now they start to claw their way back in. But like I said, so I mentioned how the economy was unrecognizable, but like by this point, usually it's like full rifles. All right. This, I don't know what this is. This is a mess. Because there've been a lot of high risk, high reward buys. And now, unfortunately, Project X all the way down onto pistols. They did buy a shorty, which is always a choice. We'll see if that can work out. And at least Tenstar have managed to buy a few guns, so they do have an advantage, but they need to press that.
I do appear to have a little bit of lag, so I'm slightly delayed.
All right, well, I'm just gonna carry on through this. The spike is already getting planted. Slicey will get a nice little early pick-off onto Kim there. Oh, Smurfette gets shut down in the middle of her Blade Storm. And really, I mean, this is just cleanup for Tenstar. They knew they had the gun advantage. Cinnamon will get one onto Slicey. Gonna need to do a lot more than that if they're gonna want to try to retake this. Recon dot comes out. Doesn't give it. Oh, and there again, that issue of height comes into play. Swinging out, lineups kill. Lilia trying so hard to survive that, but the turret just doing way too much damage. It's a 1 versus 2. Somehow Cinnamon needs to clutch it out, so she's not able to. Nello will get the final kill on the round there. I spoke about how big she can come in clutch on this map in particular, and she's just showing that time and again. You back with us?
I'm gonna try something else and see if this fixes the issue.
Don't you even worry about that. I'll just keep talking. I love the sound of my own voice. So
I love the sound of your voice too.
Oh, thank you. We're the closest we've been to a full rifle round. Unfortunately, despite Nello... Yeah, Nello's like bonusing up. I was about to go about how unfortunate it is. No, she's bonusing up. They're kind of expecting to have a gun advantage. And like the Spectre isn't the worst thing in the world, but Project X are coming into this with mostly rifles and a Bulldog. Does put them at somewhat of a disadvantage, but they're finally going for that B hit. Unfortunately for them, Smurfette and Kim holding the line here. Gonna try and stop them from getting any sort of values. Looks like it may have been a little bit of a fake. You see, they start to kind of regress. We've got a wild flanking mission happening over towards the A site, which is completely locked down with utility. Any attempt on the A site could prove deadly.
I love the patience from them as well, you know. Posted up towards B long, hoping that they're going to see some kind of aggression coming into play, but Smurfette equally as patient as they are. And now you can see Spike edging on closer towards A site. Oh, never mind as I say that. Maybe they've changed their minds. Oh, Smurfette, beautiful patience, dashing away as well. As soon as that wall goes up too, she calls it out to her teammates, and she knows full well that playing as passive as possible is definitely the way to go. Not a whole lot of time left now on the board as Roxy takes down Ninu. And 20 seconds remaining. Nello picking up a kill onto Kim. Now Smurfette does get flashed.
The great thing about the Lear is that you can just line of sight it.
10 seconds left.
Which is exactly what she does. Oh, it's a game of Ring a Rosie, and unfortunately only one kill. The spike doesn't get planted. And like, this is what we were talking about Tenstar a little bit earlier on. Like, they're such a passive team. And eventually it started to work out on the defender half once Slicey had an operator. But now on their attacking half, they're playing just a little bit too slowly. That kind of slow, methodical play, it is more or less what Europe has become, you know, quite known for, just kind of globally. But it can kind of shoot you in the foot. Especially if you take too long, you run the clock down. If she'd been like a second earlier, she would have been able to get the plant. She still would have died, but she would have been able to get the plant. If they had actually started the round faster, if they'd like aggressed in sooner, might have gone a little bit better.
I would love to see mid push right now. You see the Viper wall has gone down.
Revealing.
And it seems like they already know that this could be a possibility. Look at how many players are posted up towards, you know, all the way on B long and also towards underneath Tube. Cinnamon picks up the first kill, opening things right on up. And Roxy on a sneaky flank. I don't think they're going to expect this at all, but it doesn't matter even if they do, because they have got this on lockdown.
Remaining.
Oh my goodness, this is a slaughterhouse. And again, it's just one player left alive. It is Nello, and she often comes up really big for her team in these clutch moments. But 1 versus 4 might be a little bit too much of a tough ask. They've spotted her out. Look at that swing, 2 peeking at the same time. And they managed to get that clean up there. It's 11-7 in favor of Project X. And this is the perfect time to bring out that tactical pause.
Yeah.
They've got 4 ultimates online here, so they have a lot to work with on this next attacking round. But bearing in mind, Project X have 3 ultimates as well, and one of them is going to be the Viper's Pit. We know how good that can be at shutting down a specific entryway onto a site, so we'll very likely see that dropped early on in the round. And if that does happen, it's going to be very difficult for Tenstar to find an avenue to push in on. We already know that they're a far more slow and methodical team, but they tend to let that become a detriment. So I want to see how they leverage these ultimates, leverage these ultimates into a round win. If they lose the next round, their economy is going to be pretty messy. It has been sort of back and forth, and the economy has been quite broken for both of these teams over the course of the rounds that have been played. But I think we're at a position now where if Tenstar loses this round, they could be in dire straits.
And it's all about that runaway train, right? Like, how do you come back from this? If I was to ask you right now, what do we do exactly going into this next round to change things up?
Well, get aggressive.
10 seconds left.
Just get aggressive as possible.
I mean, look, it's never quite that forehead, right? There's always a lot more that goes into it. But yeah, I want to see them actually push in. And oh, well, there you go. That could be exactly what they need. Bladestorm immediately gets popped. But look, I mean, they've popped their biggest ultimate, and they're just kind of chilling. Yeah. They haven't pushed in anywhere. They're not really gaining too much information either. We see the recon dart come out, so that gives a little bit of info like, hey, there's people on B, but like we knew that. People are always going to be on B. So they haven't actually managed to gain a ton of info, and because of that, they play really, really slow.
There you go. You can see the pings coming on through towards Tube. And up on Pipes. Killjoy ult goes down, and Just like that Sova ult to answer back. Okay, Slicey, I see you. With the lockdown being destroyed as well, that opens up possibilities for the teammates to push on even further onto the site. Claw, with only a wall standing between her and the defenders. Oh, they check this. They check this. They've already got her number, and Roxy picks up the kill so easily. Viper ult to answer back as well.
It's massively traded back here, but
30 seconds
look
left.
at what Tenstar have done. They've pulled out so much utility over on the A site, and now they're booking it over towards B. Now, what's a little bit scary is that, unfortunately, Slicey is super low HP, and Nino doesn't have the heal just yet.
not kill my ally.
Amazing, I love that play. They were already headed to B
10
anyway,
seconds
but they
left.
get the res, and now it's a 3 versus 2, but are they going to be able to actually get the player? They shut Smurfette down!
Oh my! I saw the premise. I saw the possibility. It looked so promising, but not being able to
Match
plant
point.
in time because of the sheer panic as soon as you see someone drop down. Oh, you hate to see it. You really do.
And then Kim comes up from a different angle and manages to clean up as well. So where they would have had time, and again, this is just classic Tenstar Nova at this point, they could have won that round. But they spend so much time being passive, and Project X are too aggressive of a team. Even if you start to run down the clock a little bit, they're going to push into you as soon as you try to go and get that plant. You want to try and win these rounds a little bit faster because this is not a team to take things slowly against.
And it seems like even when they try and show this aggression, they've got their number. They know exactly what to expect and what to do. But saying that, Grant picks up 1 kill onto Claw. 3 versus 4. Player advantage in favor of Tenstar Nova. And with the Sova drone coming into play, I don't think it actually manages to tag Slicey at all.
Oh,
Saying
it does
that,
manage to
NVIA.
catch one. Yeah. But now again, I mean, look at them. They're just kind of vibing. They haven't actually planted the spike. They're waiting too long to ensure that the site is clear. Like, just have your teammates cover you. You have the... And again, this is where that Sage comes in so clutch. Wall comes out, and now they're able to get the plant. Yes, Nino goes down in the process, but it's a 3 versus 3. The numbers here are not awful. Okay, there we go. Just trade it back. Yeah. It's winnable, it's winnable.
One enemy remaining.
I just want to be proven
Player
right, to be
standing.
honest.
Okay, 1 versus 1. Viper versus Viper.
no.
But Nello did not expect it. Diffuse comes on through, and that takes
Defenders
us
win.
first map all done and dusted. 13-7 in favor of Project X.
I feel like I'm just gonna sound like a stuck record here,
One
but
enemy remaining.
like, get aggressive, ladies.
And whose map pick was that?
This, I believe, was Project X's map pick.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So we're heading on over to Bind, which is Tenstar's map pick. So we'll see if they can get better results on that. Let's take a look at what they're... So they're at an 86% win rate on Bind over 7 maps. Project X on about an 80%. Bearing in mind that for Tenstar, this is 7 maps under the Tenstar banner. They were gangsters before they got picked up, so they probably would have played a little bit on there as well. But just as, like, under the Tenstar banner, they have about 86% win rate. So not surprising to see that that was their map pick. It's actually their second best map behind Split, which I believe was actually banned out really early on. Let's just double check that. No, actually Split is our map 3. So if we go to a map 3, that could be quite devastating, but that means they need to get through map 2 first.
10 seconds left.
And I want to ask for your predictions, but you know what? I'm going to ask for it off camera because I don't want to cast the curse anything. I'm not trying to take any more, you know, what was it? Septuple overtime?
Oh Lord, please, never again. We did manage to curse ourselves into oblivion with that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we'll keep predictions to ourselves for a little bit before we, you know, head on to the next map.
Yeah, absolutely. Do make sure you guys stick around because we're going to head on over to our second map very, very shortly, and stick around for this CLG video coming up very, very soon.
Hi, my name is Benita. I am the in-game leader and captain of CLG Red Valorant. Honestly, I've never in my life seen as many females play an FPS game than Valorant. Whether it's casual streamers or competitors, or just, it doesn't matter like what category you're in. It has drawn so many girls in, and that's been the objective the whole time, is to have like that really strong community of female players. I was gaming when I was like much younger. I have an older brother. We would game as like a way to spend time together. I just copied everything he did, and that's when he got like a Half-Life CD, I remember, from GameStop, and then like you can get like Counter-Strike through that. Counter-Strike 1.6 was just a game that like sucked you in, pure skill. When I was like 12 or 11, that's when I met Miss Harvey. And there was like a community on MIRC where it was just like a women's channel. It was called Womanation. That's how I met Miss Harvey. She kind of like inspired and encouraged me to like keep playing. And it's not that I felt like I was good, but all of my surroundings would always tell me like, hey, like you're pretty good. So I just always like kept that with me, and that I loved playing, so I just kept playing. My career highlights from Counter-Strike would be probably just winning a lot of female tournaments, and we were just considered one of the best female Counter-Strike teams ever in history.
And CLG clutched the round.
I had received access to play Valorant on the first day when it launched at 5 a.m. It was the first time I had ever set an alarm to play a video game. My first impressions of the game, like I was like blown away, to be honest. I thought it was so refreshing, so fun. I loved it. Building a female team has been the biggest challenge of my life. I came out of my comfort zone to build this team, and like still to this day, like I'm learning a lot of new things about like who I am or who I want to be or how I want to influence my teammates who aren't as experienced as me when it comes to competing. If it's something like you don't want to do, it's just gonna feel like a drag. And that's like the worst feeling of it, is when you don't want to sit on your computer. You just have to really want it. If you don't want to be involved in the game, or if you don't feel like being a top competitor, everything else is not gonna fall into place. Like the effort, the dedication, the communication, the laziness, like all these things go away or get better if you really want to be the best.
Welcome back once again. Some intense games we have seen all day long. We saw 7 overtimes, we saw third map. I feel like we've kind of seen it all at this point. My name is Jasmine Kanuga and I am joined by the wonderful Sam, aka Naori Mizuki. And we are ready to take it into the second map of our grand finals. Naori, talk to me. How are you feeling about this matchup?
This has really been a surprising matchup, I think, because we spoke about how this is kind of a grudge match for Tenstar and Project X after Project X lost out on the grand final of Huntress Trials to Tenstar Nova last month. This is really kind of a Cinderella story for this team, so to speak. And just a quick update, our third place match between Chatband and Rix GG. Chatband are currently 1-0. That was another map that went into overtime. It was 14-12. To Chatband. So very spicy things happening over there. There you go. You can get that bracket up in front of you just to have that, have that handy. So yeah, heading on over to map 2. We know that it's Tenstar Nova's map pick, so we're going to be expecting a lot more from this team. We're heading on over to Bind, which is statistically Tenstar's second best map.
Okay, but traditionally we have seen, especially in the previous game, that just because it is your map pick does not mean that you're going to succeed in taking the map win. So I'm curious to see, we saw Project X picking up the first map win. It was their map pick, but can Tenstar Nova do the same on theirs?
Well, we're going to be heading on into Agent Select now. So let's have a look at what these ladies have in store for us on our second map of the grand final, and it's already looking to be quite interesting. So Liralia is going to be swapping from Smokes. In fact, Liralia and Nino are swapping roles here. We'll have Liralia moving on over to the Sage potentially, while Nino is going to be rocking that Brimstone. And I really like the Brimstone pick on Bind. It's one of those things that I feel can work out really well. Unsurprisingly, both teams are coming with both Vipers and Razors. These are two agents that you almost never don't see on Bind. They are just way too powerful, super easy to abuse close quarters. Specifically with like the Poison Cloud, which brings you the Decay, and then of course the Paint Satchels, which can deny a ton of space. And this is also interesting because Project X didn't run the Sage on the previous map, and again, they're not running the Sage here, and there are a lot of plays that can be used with that, but again, just leaning into that super aggressive play style, whereas Tenstar, it feels like, again, they're leaning into a more passive play style. If they don't pick it up a little bit here, despite this being their map pick, we may see them start to get shut down a little bit again.
Especially when it comes to the talking point of that runaway train. That is not what you want to see, especially in a situation like this in the grand finals. We want to see full send it, we want to see full action. And I'm so hyped to get into this. Also worth mentioning the fact that we have Glance once again on the Sova. Yeah, so I love the fact they're playing this information-based character to kind of gather as much initial info as possible. It does look like they're going to start to set on up for a B push.
Yeah, again, I think that Glance's Breach pick is very situational. We tend to see it a lot on Split because Breach is really good on Split. But apart from that, we will see her more often on the Sova. That is kind of her main agent. And Project X, unsurprisingly, look at this, pushing straight through into Hookah, using a little bit of utility as well, just to make sure that it's clear. But they're going to push straight through rather aggressively. There's a fake wall over on the A site, but it's the B push through and through.
I think they did hear Roxy actually drop down as well. You can see rotation has come through. 3 players now placed on the B site. Spike has been dropped towards B long. I would love to see a TP rotate right now. You can see the 2 players from Nova actually teleporting towards site as well. Nello gets wiped off the map by Smurfette, and now 3 versus 5 situation they've been placed in. Go on, TP away. You know you want. Okay, Kim.
How does she get that much value with the Boombot as well? Just there to give that extra little bit, and she's still able to get 2 kills. This was a rough round for Tenstar.
A rough round indeed, but who knows? Maybe they can pull it back and come back stronger from this. You can see full Spectres in the hands of Project X, and I'm wondering whether or not Tenstar are going to be able to answer back to this. You can see they've got a bit of a stack going on towards the B site. 4 of those players posted up in and around B. I would love to see a bit of a flash face coming into play. And you know what? I feel like they're definitely going to play incredibly passive, maybe trying to get a Spectre or 2 out of their hands. Oh, and you can see it's a full stack on the site. And that's what we talk about time and time again, safety in numbers, yada, yada, yada.
And again, the fact that they're at a very large weapon disadvantage. So you kind of stack one site and then wait for the push to come through, then decide if you're going to play for retake or if you're going to, you know, deny the push that's coming in towards you. Things are looking a little bit dire here. That's a beautiful early pick, though.
Oh, I was about to say that should never happen. And now Spectre's in their hands. 2 bullets remaining. That is not the timing you want to be reloading. 1 versus 3 now with Slicey on site. Unfortunately, she's just not able to close it out. That was a bit sloppy.
Well, the problem there, so Nello runs down long to pick up the Spectre. If someone peeks her and she only has a few bullets left, she dies anyway. So you kind of take the risk that, okay, they won't peek at that exact moment, but they probably hear the sound cue of the reload coming through and 2 people swing out. So realistically, either way, she's probably dead there.
She had a teammate with her though, no?
Yeah, I think there was one behind her, but again, like maybe you take the risk because maybe you hit those headshots, right? But, you know, opted not to. A little bit of a difficult situation to be in either way. What does help now, of course, is after losing the 2 pistol rounds, we'll talk about this Tenstar. Oh my god, that one way is so good. And what I was about to talk about, the fact that they have rifles in their hands means that it's easy cleanup for Claw.
Cleanup crew in full force. See the nade and flash coming into play here. Satcheling onto the side, but unfortunately unable to pick up a kill. Nino goes absolutely huge with 2 of those opening frags. Slicey has a lot to say for herself as well, picking up 2 of her own. And there we have it. Tenstar Nova picking up their first round on this map.
So they had the gun advantage, that definitely helps, and they have Nino, so that really helps. She gets so much value just chilling there in that long area. The fact that she's able to get 1 on long, 1 on hookah before she actually gets taken out is invaluable. Now, what is unfortunate to note here is that Kim, who I believe forced up a little bit in the previous round, isn't able to buy this round. It's again one of those kind of high risk, high reward decisions, and she's going to be forced down onto a sheriff, whereas the whole of Tenstar are able to full buy up here. That being said, it might not be necessarily enough to convert this into another round win. Tenstar have been looking very shaky today, far more so than usual.
See, I love how sneaky they're kind of trying to play, making sure that nobody aggressed towards long area and giving away the info that they were in fact flash as the drone goes in to reveal some locations. Dog follows straight after as well as Cinnamon opens things up with the first kill. Claw has something to say for herself though as she sends that boombot in to potentially spot some people out and do a little bit of damage.
Oh, she's hoping to bait them out in front of the teleporter. Are they going to actually open this door? Looks like they're just going to rotate away for the moment. Opens the door again. And doesn't spot anyone. They've already rotated past as they start to make their move over towards A site. Nello, who's been left here all alone, tries to block that, but it's a little bit too far to the side. They are going to be able to sneak through, but they don't check close.
30 seconds
Checking
left.
close corners, incredibly important. She does have another snake bite to use, but Cinnamon is way too fast for her to keep up with.
And round we go.
Spike down A. Last player standing.
But the spike's being dropped. That is super unfortunate. Here we go, Smithfit. Gets traded out, but somehow because... Okay, so the fact that Cinnamon takes the TP there literally wins them the round. Because they trade back and forth here, and there's no one else left alive. And, of course, that showstopper comes out to trade it out. Literally, I don't know.
It was absolutely necessary, though. When you look at the clock ticking away, there was about 10 seconds left on the board. There was no way they would have been able to get to that spike, which was directly in front of her, and then plant as well and get out of it safely. So better off to just pop the showstopper and, you know, count your losses and secure the kill.
I'm just not sure about literally his reaction to it.
Yeah.
Because had she been kind of not running face into it, she might have been able to burn down the clock a little bit longer. However, hindsight, of course, is 2020. And so is having 3 people cover one angle. Nino pushing out so aggressively. Oh, wow. And this is just another really horrific round for Tenstar. It's only just begun. And this might be the last round that they're going to be able to actually buy up.
Pushing all over the site now. 3 versus 4. You can see Nello being incredibly patient here, waiting for this smoke to dissipate. But if she waits a little too much, she might get swung by all of these players. Nello! Oh my goodness.
My
you know
God.
what? I take it back, Nello. You do you. Once again, I'm so sorry for ever doubting you.
All right, well, they're not out of the woods just yet. It is a 3 versus 2, but they are just kind of running in onto the site. Nobody's checking elbow. Oh my God, Nino manages to survive very barely. And now we've got, oh my God, Hunter's Fury comes out to deny. The plant does manage to take down Claw. We had the orbital strike coming through. It didn't actually connect. The vent's still on site. The defuse hasn't come through yet. She pushes into the smoke and she loses to Nino. One person left alive. Glance actually manages to get the kill. And there isn't enough time for the defuse. A beautiful round from Glance and the ace to boot.
Oh my word.
Yep.
That's all I have to say on the matter.
That's kind of how I'm feeling about this. That was another spectacular round from Project X, and a little bit of an investment from both sides. The Hunter's Fury, of course, comes up huge, but the orbital strike comes out and doesn't actually manage to get anything. Because Smurfette just kind of pushes out. As soon as she hears, open up the skies, she just runs away. And she manages to get out of that position. She pushes in. Now, while she wasn't able to survive the encounter with Nino, she does force Nino off the spike, which gives an opportunity for Glance to come around and then get the follow-up kill. You can kind of just spray through the smoke. It's told them exactly where the spike has been planted. They already knew that because they planted it. And then the spray comes through and it's down to last person standing. And at that point, there's no time left. So they perfectly run down the clock to ensure that there's no way that a defuse is going to come through.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to talk about that pushing through the smoke and the big whiff. Oh my goodness. I felt my heart jump out of my chest, honestly. That's the kind of situation where if I find myself in a situation like that, my friends would never let me live that down.
Yup. That's pretty common depending on how you usually perform. But Tenstar now have managed to build up 3 ultimates. So they've got a lot of firepower to work with here. They're still showing far too much of that passive. Okay, never mind. The passive for what? They're just going straight through. It is, of course, a pistol round. They have managed to pick up at least 1 rifle. Yeah, they brought it down to... Oh, a good attempt. And honestly, a really, really good eco round to have gotten 3 kills there.
I love it.
More to say about that.
I honestly love it. I want to see more of that. It's just small, silly plays like that, kind of pugging it out as you would. I love it. I want to see more of it because it's just expecting the unexpected.
But that is generally what happens with those pistol rounds. And I mean, had they had rifles, maybe that goes a little bit better. But they didn't. So, they kind of just rushed through. And that's the aggression that I wanted to see from them. Now that they have rifles in their hands, I want to see them really getting into this game. Okay, maybe not this round because they have decided to just drop the Viper's Pit over on the A site. Although, to be fair, Project X haven't really pushed through showers. Maybe they thought this would be the one time that they actually do it.
Oh, okay, beautiful. Oh, but unfortunately, it was just a little bit too slow as they've already pushed on back. Through towards mid, Seekers go out as well, revealing them a little bit of info as to where their opponents may be, and Clara finding herself in a little bit of a dire situation right now. Run on back as quickly as you can. They may not catch you. You are not the gingerbread man. That's right, I'm a modern-day poet.
I heard the sound cue for the orbital strike in the previous round, but it looks like Nino didn't actually use it because she just used it now to deny some space. So might have been a little bit of a, I don't know, maybe I just imagined it. I could have sworn I heard it. Anyway, used it this time around to force Project X back a little bit. Now we are going to see
30
that
seconds left.
cosmic divide come out, and of course the sound dampening.
Spike planted.
Can't really hear what's happening.
Oh, the satchel
enemy
ult coming
remaining.
into play. You know how
Last
much I
player
love
standing.
to see that 1 versus 1 now. Nello. Let's see whether or not she's able to make this work against Kim. She does have Snakebite as well. She does want to kind of hold off that push, but I don't think she's actually aware of where she's playing exactly. Checking all of her angles. Oh, if this Snakebite goes down, this could be dangerous.
Oh man, the concuss as well. Just so much utility. Nello just wins the duel. Beautiful work there, and she's actually going to be able to get the defuse as well. I said it before. Nello is such a clutch player for this team. And there again, you see it. You know, she taps the spike the first time, pulls out the first star. Taps it the second time, sidesteps the concuss. She expects that Kim is going to peek out because, like, when you use the concuss, you're kind of expecting that the player that you've used it on is going to be concussed, and so you can swing out and take advantage of that. She moves a little bit to the side, kind of off of where the spike would be, hoping that that's where Kim's going to be aiming, and she wins out the aim duel. Finally, they get a second point on the board, but job's not done. They do have a massive advantage in terms of what weaponry they have available, but things are still looking really bad for Tenstar at the moment.
Yeah, not looking the greatest. I feel like they're slowly coming into their own and they're slowly getting into the swing of things. But again, I want to see that aggression. You can see that one player already rotated over. 3 of them posted up towards B site, shooting out all those seekers that we keep seeing time and time again. And just
Another
like
round.
that.
Yeah, looks like it's going to be another round in favor of Project X. They do have a massive numbers advantage here. Oh, I think that Snakebite actually just missed. Yep, and Aurelia swings out, able to get 2. It's a decent trade, but now that makes it a 3 versus 2, and the Viper's Pit's going to be dropped right on top of the spike.
Spike planted.
And one. Ooh,
Last
okay,
player
really
standing.
big frag there. Very huge from her. 1 versus 2. We've seen Nello pull some amazing stuff off in her time. And I don't doubt she'll be able to do it yet again.
Oh, it's difficult though, because now we talk about how you never expect someone to be holding, like 2 players to hold the same angle, and that's, we were seeing it now. One player's run all the way down long, the other's kind of chilling in the back of sight, and wasn't expecting Smurfette to be right behind her. Could have been a huge clutch moment, but unfortunately, not to be. And that's Tenstar. We're at 6-2 at the moment. 4 rounds left in this half. Tenstar are forced back down onto a pistol round. If they win this round, first and foremost, it's a miracle. But second of all, win or lose, they will have rifles in the next round. So there is potential to start rolling through. And look at Project X's economy. It's not great either. If Tenstar manage to win out this round, it'll be a big blow to Project X. Not like supermassive and force them onto pistols, but pretty big. And that's a damn good start to potentially making that happen.
Absolutely, especially when Nino follows it up just like that. Rifle in their hands as well now. Literally are picking up yet another 1 tap.
Heal up, squad.
What on earth? You know what? Oh, where
Last
are you
player
looking?
standing.
Oh my.
They just whiffed this entire round. They funnel out of hookah. No one's checking the angles. And now, once again, it's all down to Nello to try and clutch this out 1 versus 2. I don't know if she's been able to actually pick up a gun because she's going on like a really long rotation. Okay, yeah, she has a gun. So that's something. But how do you allow that to happen?
I have no idea how on earth that managed to play out the way it did. But you know what? It worked for them, I guess, kind of. And Nello might have a bit of a lineup now if she plays this correctly. Shot dart goes out, but she doesn't take any damage whatsoever. Oh my god, please don't line up.
Oh, so close. Valid attempt there once again. But unfortunately, this time around, Nello not going to be able to make that clutch. I'm still molding is the only word that comes to mind when I think about that hookah push. When Claw barely looks to the left, drops a satchel to try to like satchel away, and the rest of her team just follow her and fall like pins. They just, I can't believe they allowed that to happen. That should have been a 10-star round, and unfortunately, that gets us ever closer to that round half with Tenstar only having picked up 2 rounds.
I feel like I probably would have wanted to take a pause at that moment in time. The round after that, you have rifles in hand, formulate a game plan, kind of regain a little bit from what's just happened and go again. But you know what? Each to their own. Maybe they can pull this off and make this work. Roxy sending in the dog as well to try and get some info. However, immediately destroyed that.
Oh. Followed her through the teleporter. Definitely wasn't expecting that. No, Cinnamon! Like a half angle check. Doesn't realize that there's still work. Oh my goodness, lineups kill! This is so scrappy between these two teams, but it is down to a 3 versus 3 here. Smurfette trying to hold the switcher angle. The rest of the team coming through. Slicey not expecting a full rush towards her as Project X book it back towards the A site. And now you can actually see Tenstar uncertain of what to do. One has rotated to A for that information. Finally, Nello will follow behind, but at this point, Spike will already be going down.
Spike planted.
Nino picking up the first kill onto Smurfette. 2 versus 2 now. Because Nello is edging on closer herself as well. I like how they're playing quite split apart. You know, one player holding the angle towards showers, the other covering through towards lamps, but
right here.
glance on her teammate. Safety in numbers yet again. Recon available, and so is the Hunter's Fury.
Last player standing.
Neither of these players have been... Oh, okay, as I say that, one player has been tagged up. Still
player
has the shot
standing.
dart to work with
Where
as
is
well.
Nello looking? Okay, so they managed to get the defuse, but like Nello's looking towards Defender's spawn when they know the Hunter's Fury came from lamps. Maybe in like the confusion of it, she just got like a more or less general direction and thought maybe it's like further back, like way further back. I don't know. But I mean, it feels like she's just checking the wrong angle. Thankfully for Tenstar, Nino is able to clutch that out and get the defuse. Otherwise, that could have been another one of those like catastrophic whiffs.
Yeah.
We're now down to what is the second last round in this half. Tenstar Nova having committed a couple of ultimates there. They still have 2 available. Orbital Strike hasn't come up massive just yet, but it has been really good for doing a little bit of zoning. And of course they have the res available to help out. And I talk about ults that haven't come up super huge. Showstopper's available as well and hasn't done terribly much. In fact, 9 times out of 10, we actually see her die at the same time. Like whoever she kills her.
Yeah. Trading back and forth, but oh, you can see that Snakebite coming in clutch, but she's so quick to run away from it. She does not want the smoke and spamming away through that wall. Kim goes huge with the kill onto Lyralia. That's its one ult completely removed. No more res available to them. Now 1 player remaining, and just like that, Defenders with another round.
Claw hops to the teleporter like, save some for me! By the time she arrives, it's too late. It's all over. Okay, Tenstar finally clawing their way back into this. We could see, in fact, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that we're going to see a 7-5 half here. And it's exactly what we saw on the previous map. But once we swapped sides, Project X just continued. And we're starting on the same sides as well. Tenstar started Icebox on defense. They did reasonably well. They moved over onto the offense, and their passiveness shot them in the foot. We might be seeing a complete repeat of that. I'm going to need to see something incredible from Tenstar on their attacking half. But, you know, we'll get there. We're not there yet.
Deploying drone.
Slowly but surely. Soon TM. There we go. Drain goes in. Oh, Clara, you do not want to be taking that much damage that early on. Okay. Ray's ult has been popped as well. She does satchel on in. And they are all scared. They do not want the smoke. And she does fire it and picks up a kill with it as well.
You're kidding me. That's gross. Orbital Strike does come through there. Manages to actually pick up the kill onto Roxy. So Tenstar do actually have a massive numbers advantage here. Only 2 players left here for Project X. Mafet will get one, but it's immediately traded back. And now it's all down to Kim.
Oh, she's been concussed as well. Trying to stick a little bit of a defuse.
Oh, the pixel. Beautiful. There we go. The 7-5 half. Didn't cast a curse at this time, although it would have been really difficult to cast a curse that, given what the buys were looking like. But you know what? I've seen teams do weirder things with better, you know, resources available to them. We're gonna be heading over into the second half. Tenstar Nova now on the attack. I've mentioned this a few times, but their attacks have been lackluster. They are very passive. They don't take space. They allow Project X to push out aggressively and take the space that they themselves should be taking. And if that trend continues, then we could just be seeing a full-on repeat of what we had on Icebox.
As long as it's not a 7 septuple overtime, I think I'm
Lord.
good.
Yeah, you know what? I don't see that happening. I'll be perfectly honest.
I feel like
Project
I'm going to
X.
have nightmares about that.
I mean, I gotta say, I spoke about how this was kind of like an epic rematch between these two teams and how Tenstar won it the first time around. But Project X, they have leveled up a lot in the last month. This has been a very impressive performance across series.
I mean, they have a lot to prove, right? And they are here and they are ready to prove a point and show that we are back better than ever, and we have a lot to show for ourselves as well. And rightly so.
I've been calling them the top unsigned team in Europe for weeks. And it really is. Like, they haven't been picked up by an org yet. They're just waiting for that moment to happen. And maybe now, after this incredible performance, they will finally get that chance.
Smurf very good aggression.
One enemy
play
remaining.
there. Okay, never mind. Cast the curse. You didn't see it. It didn't happen.
Nope. Delete the VOD. Oh, 2 versus 1 here. Roxy doesn't actually manage to stop the plant because of course the wall is in the way. No ways. Oh, the reload! And this is why the frenzy is so seldom used in pistol rounds, because spray transfer is incredibly iffy. It's unreliable. And on top of that, the clip, the mag, is so small that when you try to spray transfer, you have what exactly we saw here. Runs out of bullets, has to reload. And yeah, Lyria did not have that same problem. That's a good start.
Heartbreaking, though, considering the fact that Cinnamon actually had a snake bite to work with there as well. Had she thrown that one down, it definitely would have slowed them down and slowed down that push out of showers. But hindsight, right? It's all about hindsight.
What a lot of utility coming out. I will say that this is a good look for Tenstar if we're kind of comparing it to the previous map, because on Icebox, when we swapped sides, Project X won the first pistol round. So this already is a good beginning. And hopefully they can actually kind of pivot off of that into more round wins. One more round win and they've tied up the scores. And that could be the closest that they've been to Project X in a very long time.
Slicey. Sending that dog on in for some info. Clark opening things up with the first kill. Spike in hand as well. And in comes the wall after kind of her teammates being there very quick to kind of protect and defend her. Amazing team play and communication coming into fruition now.
Where was this aggression on Icebox? Seriously. They're pushing in, they're taking space, they're fully taking control of the site as well, using their utility to shut down sight lines, and then swinging on one another once they have that control. This is brilliant. This is what I wanted to see on Icebox, and for some reason, they just weren't able to deliver. They've now evened things out a little bit. They're going for the bonus round. They know that they're going to be coming up against rifles, so this is where we might see them fall back a little bit, back onto that more kind of passive play style, just because they know that they don't have the guns to match up. We'll see if I'm actually right about that. They might just
see
be
how
like, all right,
passive
cool,
they're
we're going.
playing. You can see how passive they're playing towards Hookah now as well. With that nade going in, they throw the flash on out, and Smurfette, she could be onto something here if She plays her cards right. Another flash going on in. Her and Roxy just need to be able to swing off each other's contact, but
Blinded.
The way that they use that Trailblazer to find out that there is a crossfire being created, and now they just have to. There we go. The cleanup onto Roxy immediately. Ooh, Nino with the shots from downtown, managing to take down Cinnamon with 2 players left alive. This should be a really easy blonde. Yes, there is a lurk coming through, but for the last 2 players of Project X to split up so much, I don't know if it's gonna work out the way they're hoping.
yeah, big not sure about that one, Chief. They are just gonna look to play for these exit frags by the looks of things, and maybe pick up a rifle or 2 if possible. Oh, never mind. Already have their rifles. They just want they just want the kills.
Yeah, this is their rifle round. So, I mean, they came into this with the superior weaponry. Like, realistically, you would think that this is the round that they win, but no, instead they opt to save because they know that if they die here, everyone on their team is forced back down onto a pistol. So you keep 2 alive, keep 2 guns in your hand if you can. Oh, guiding light comes out. Oh my god, Kim actually managed. What?
That's huge. That is absolutely
How does
huge.
Kim get 2 there? And that does some serious things to Tenstar's economy. Oh, does literally a check? She does.
Oh, that was
the rifles,
huge.
the rifles they were hoping to save get yeeted into the abyss, and now they're all down. Maybe not fully onto pistols. Okay, they could buy some SMGs. They've got a little bit of skin in this game. Hey, look at that. Score update. Chat band defeat Rix GG Lightning by taking bind 14-12 and Icebox 13-2. All right, Rix GG, not an Icebox team.
Bomb buddy out.
There you go, your 3rd place team in the Women in Games Community Cup will be chat band. Now we got to find out who takes 1st and 2nd.
Honestly, anybody's game, especially when teams are making a comeback like this so often. Glance had really good timing as well. She picked up that final kill and... Ooh, okay. Cute little crossfire going on here. No stun coming into play, no concussion at all.
Project X have been really good at setting up those crossfires, but it's nice to see Tenstar using some of that utility to figure that out. And now, instead of trying to push through showers, which is clearly a very dangerous place to be, they're going to be moving over onto the B site. But they've used a little bit of utility, so it looks like a fake. When in fact, this is, all right, we just don't want them to be able to see us rotating away. We don't want them to be shooting us in the back.
Yeah, that's kind of impossible to do once you get spotted by the dog like they have done now. 3 players on site. Seeker's being popped out as well. Unfortunately not being able to stun anyone as they're shooting through the tube. Oh, can't pick up a kill with that nade, and yet again with a wallbang. 2.
1 enemy remaining.
Oh,
You're welcome.
what is
this round?
It's just hectic, that's what it is.
10 seconds left.
Like, this is one of the most ridiculous rounds I've ever had to watch. It just unfolds like a comedy show. And now Nello trying to come up so big. Yeah, I mean, that's all she has to do. Oh, unfortunate. Nello was trying to get that last kill there. There was no way that the plant was going to come through. And again, Tenstar, this wasn't even about passive play. It was just taking too long to execute. They got a little bit of information over towards the A site. They move over towards B and get stalled out over and over again. Every time they try and get in onto the site, it's like, nope, nope, nope. And when they eventually do get it onto the side, Smurfette with the run and gun. I cannot believe that that worked. She just Ferrari peeked around the corner with a classic of all things. We're back up to a tied up scoreline, but what makes this so dangerous is that there is an operator posted up here in showers. I'm waiting to see if we can get some value out of that.
Oh, maybe. Okay, yeah, no concussion kind of coming through.
The best part is that she moves out of the way with the operator, so the information that the op is there does not get given over.
Spike is currently posted up towards Hookah.
Toxins going up.
Lots and lots invested towards this B site. Wall goes up. Viper ult follows shortly after as well.
That's Okay, so we've got the Viper's Pit coming through, and then we have the counter Astral Divide, or Cosmic Divide, to create a little bit of sightline denial, but the retake is coming in from the defender's spawn, and they haven't cut away too much. They've cut away Long and Hookah, but the whole of Tenstar are already basically on site.
Oh, she is completely flash. Roxy picks up the kill. 2 versus 5 now. Flash goes in once again. Cinnamon deciding to jiggle peek that. Oh, Orbital Strike comes on in, and do they?
Nope.
You can see them all swarming towards it. Do they have it?
I don't think they have it.
I think they might. I think they might.
Oh! 0.98 seconds, and like you can see, like some of them were hightailing it away, but like they were just like not even close. Not even close. Beautiful round there again. Tenstar had that aggression. They were looking really good at the start, but they've now started to kind of struggle a little bit. That utility usage that I'd lauded them for, using that to create space, push in, deny sightlines, they're just not getting the same results as they had been previously. A little bit unfortunate, and forced down onto one of these kind of janky forces once again. Spectres, or not a force, but a half buy. Trying to make something happen with that. Amazing!
Beautiful flash coming on through and taking the op out of their hands. Absolutely huge. However, Slicey decides she wants a slice of the action with the op in hand. One-way smoke has been popped.
So weird to see Slicey on Sky. Like I know it's a similar kind of vibe to what she would do on Breach, but I'd kind of like to see her on Jet. That being said, this kind of does play in a little bit better into Tenstar's playstyle, and now with 2 kills on the board, despite this being what was a half buy, they've got an opportunity to turn it around.
Got your trail.
Oh, they managed to concuss one of the players as well. Now the Seekers have been popped, revealing even more of their locations. But look at that Sage Wall blocking the push for one of those Seekers.
Oh, Claw getting spotted out there. Difficult position to be in. Oh,
Player standing.
Oh my
the spray
goodness.
through in showers. Now Slicey still has the op available. They want to take that out of her hands very quickly, and they do manage to do so. Project X here on double digits. Now, I wasn't really expecting Tenstar to be able to win out that round. It would have been incredibly impressive had they done so, given that it was a half buy. But realistically, it wasn't going to happen. Now, however, they have decent economy, so they should be able to buy up to rifles, and they're taking that all-important tack pause. We talk about how it can really create a momentum shift, and now more than ever is when they need that shift.
Yeah, absolutely. Did they not have the player advantage though, Tenstar Nova, when it came to that situation? Or am I imagining things?
I think they did, but it doesn't really make a huge difference when you don't have the guns available to like follow up on anything. And then, I mean, everyone knows, the entirety of Project X knows that you're chilling in showers. So
Yeah.
everyone just kind of sprays through into showers, and then it's just cleanup.
Big panic. I would be freaking out in this situation. I'd be like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what to do to fix all of the issues we have going on right now. But, you know, that runaway train is not too far ahead. I feel like it's definitely doable and definitely a possibility for them to bring it back.
And Tenstar even have a raise on the board as well, so they can potentially bring someone back into play, depending on where it is that they die. But we're at 10 and 8 now. 3 points for Project X to win not only this map, but the entire series and the entire tournament. Tenstar Nova, they realize this. The pressure is most certainly on to make something happen.
All right.
I have this
Viper ult being popped towards that B site. Claw sending her boombot in for just a little bit of info, but none being offered up to her on a silver platter just yet. Oh, could that nade do some damage? Never mind.
A little bit of utility has come out, which is always a good thing, you know, for the enemy team. We'll see if they can kind of use that to their advantage. Viper Wall comes out. Slicey's kind of expecting that they're going to be pushing through it. Now they have the information. Okay, the operator is here. They need to be careful.
I'm not liking how many of them were playing towards short, but it does seem like they've kind of sold the fake to them already. You can see... Oh no, Sky falling on back to that A site. Okay, see, even though Viper has her ult available to her, this is a bit of a tricky situation to kind of place her in. Oh, she just had to trick master.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
no.
Cinnamon is still alive, and Roxy's managed to get one, and Cinnamon pushes into her ultimate, and the ult's off the board. But despite
One
that, she's
enemy
still
remaining.
able to get 2 kills, and now it's all down to Slicey. Last person standing here, 14 seconds left on the clock. This guiding light comes through, and Smurfette's able to follow that up with a quick and clean kill. This was not what Tenstar wanted after that timeout. They were really hoping to start turning this around in their favor. And now look at this economy. At least one player is not going to be able to come in with a rifle. And that's assuming that they even all have rifles. Oh, Claw. Opting instead to buy utility instead of a rifle. I mean, that's kind of the what you have to weigh up when you come into this. So instead, it's going to be a little bit of a half buy so that they can have some economy left, because if they lose this round, it's match point for Project X.
Absolutely, you can see Clara relying heavily on that Boombot to give her that info that she needs. Does still have a nade to kind of work with as well. A bit of a split situation coming into fruition here as Cinnamon opens things up with the first kill. Still has a snake bite to work with as well to slow them down just a little bit more.
Again, we've got all of this utility coming out, trying to either deny information or give information and kind of create a little bit of a fake. They still have that res, but it's not in a resible situation, and now Nino's gone down. And this is such a horrific situation.
Oh no. Oh no. Cinnamon is just too fast to pick up those kills. As soon as the res comes on in, the cover for that res just simply wasn't there.
Heartbreaking. That's the only way to describe it. I mean, Slicey trying her best there at the end to try to turn it around, but just not gonna be enough. Match point here for Project X.
One enemy
How does
remaining.
Tenstar even come back from this? Yes, they're gonna have full rifles available, but they have no ultimates apart from the Seekers. They're very close to a few ultimates, one ult orb away from orbital strike, but we know that that hasn't really done too much historically. They're 2 away from a showstopper, but the chances of Claw being able to get both of those points are relatively low. One player, unfortunately, literally are down to just a Spectre, and Project X have 2 very high impact ultimates available. This could be it.
The moment of truth.
Toxin screen down.
I want to see the aggression. If there was ever a time for that aggression, it's definitely now. You can see Smurfette knows that that's the case. Throws in the Boombot. You can see Sova ult being popped as well as the Raze ult. Unfortunately, unable to get a kill as a result of that. But Claw, I don't think Glass has any idea to hit.
Beautiful spray transfer there, and she throws out the paint shells as well to stop anyone from pushing in behind her. Now it's down to a 4 versus 3. Nello flanking the flankception incoming. Roxy trying to peek in through showers. Nello's right behind. She hasn't clocked it. And that's Roxy off the board. 4 versus 2 here. I didn't know if Tenstar could turn this around, but it's not over yet as Cinnamon manages to get yet another pick. Last player left alive. Clean up. Beautiful plays there from Tenstar. But again, not out of the woods. Project X's economy is going to be looking pretty ripe in this next round. And Tenstar lost a lot of players in that round. So that means that their economy is going to be very messy. Yep, super messy. They're able to at least get some rifles. I said that in the previous round. And bearing in mind that the previous round was a full buy, they kind of half bought 2 rounds back. They had to full buy in the previous round just to keep themselves in this game. What they have done, and this is super important, is they've taken that operator off the board entirely. Project X in no way can afford to bring that back in at the moment, and that may just be their saving grace.
I love this. I love the fact that they've not been too aggressive towards Hookah. They have fallen back and then immediately popped the Viper ult because we saw how incredibly well that worked out for them in the previous round. Now Klar, desperate to try and maybe reveal some more info if possible, but they're just not offering it up. Spamming on top of the container, unable to connect those shots onto Cinnamon.
Oh, Slicey goes down. That's not great. They're kind of spray and praying into the ultimate to try and find that Viper, and unfortunately it's Nella that goes down. Claude tries to pop the showstopper but gets completely taken out. Nino can actually trade it, so that means that the Viper spits off the board, but it's a 4 versus 2.
Oh my word. Glance is ready and waiting, expecting this. Peek. Can she get the double spray down? Unfortunately not.
30 seconds left.
Literally, I'm picking up 2 huge kills. 30 seconds left on the heel, but unfortunately
Defenders win.
unable to close that out. And just like that, very, very well played to our Women in Games Community Cup champions, Project X.
This has been really a great achievement, I believe, for Project X. They have been working hard for months to get to this position. I have been saying for the longest time that they are the best unsigned team in Europe, and here they prove it to everyone. You know, silence all the haters, silence all the non-believers. They come out on top in a spectacular fashion, winning out against Tenstar Nova, who, as I said previously, were back-to-back Huntress Trials winners. But Project X used that to fuel themselves, to get better, to make sure that they would come back in a way that no one expected. Super, super proud of what this team has managed to accomplish.
Absolutely, and we did mention they had so much to prove following this, you know, a little rematch going on here, and they did exactly that, so they should most certainly be proud of themselves. And you know what? Congrats to everybody that has taken part throughout this tournament. It's been amazing to witness all these girls play their hearts out, and they did not disappoint, not at all.
And don't run away, everyone. You may think that it's over. Oh, it's not over just yet. We are going to be back after a short break with an interview with Cinnamon, one of the 2 best duelists in Europe, in my humble opinion. So if you are keen to check that out, please do stick around. We're going to be back after a very short break.
1 enemy remaining.
This guy's